Hello class, in this video we are going to go over how to calculate force with the standard acceleration equals fnet over mass formula. Here is a problem that you might see when you're asked to do this on an exam, and it reads, a force gives a 12 kilogram mass an acceleration of -4 meters per second squared. How large is the force? The first thing that I'm going to do when I do a problem like this is I am going to identify what variables are given to me in the problem. So I'm going to look at what numbers are in the problem and figure out what those numbers represent. I see the number 12 here, and I see it is a mass. So I know that my mass is going to be 12 kilograms. All right, the other number that I see is I see a -4, and I can see that this is an acceleration of -4 meters per second. So I know that my acceleration is going to be -4 meters per second squared. Okay. I can see that the problem's asking me for the force because it says how large is the force over here. So we go ahead and we do not know the value for our force. Now, if we go back up here and we look at the formula as I gave it to you, it says acceleration equals net force over mass. If you look up at the formula page, it's in the same form there. So what we do is we want to know how to rearrange this formula so that instead of equaling acceleration, it equals the thing that we're looking for, force. To do that, we have our little handy dandy formula triangle. Okay, if I go ahead and I cover up the value that I'm looking for, that's not supposed to be that, it's supposed to be like that. If I go ahead and cover up the value that I'm looking for, then what I can see that I have left is mass times acceleration. So I know that the formula is going to be fnet equals mass times acceleration. So let's go ahead and build that formula. Okay. So here you have force equals mass times acceleration. The next thing I need to do is I need to put in the numbers that I'm going to use to solve the problem. All right, so I know I have a mass here and an acceleration here. I know that my value for mass is 12 kilograms. I was hoping that one would come with me, but it didn't. And I know that my acceleration is -4 meters per second squared. Okay, there we go. So really all that this question is asking me for is what is 12 times -4? I know that 12 times 4 is 48. And I know that I have one negative sign over here, so I'm going to have a -48. If I had two negative signs, my result would be positive. If both numbers were positive, my result would be positive. But in this case, because I have one positive number and one negative number, the result is going to be negative. So I know I'm going to have -48. I know that forces are measured in newtons, so I know that my units of measurement are going to be newtons. And that is the answer to the question. So I'll highlight it. And now you know how to calculate force with acceleration equals fnet over m.